Welcome to Behind Olivia O. Today we have the pleasure of chatting with Deanna Mann, who is the incredibly talented music director for the Toronto Fringe Festival production of Olivia O the musical. Hi Deanna, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good, I'm so excited to have you here and to get to chat. Thank you for being here.
Of course, I'm excited to be here.
So to start us off, can you share a little bit about yourself and your background in music and in theater?
Yeah, for sure. So I started my musical journey from a young age. I played piano and did choir and band all through school. And then for post-secondary, I actually did musical theater performance rather than music. But after graduating that, I kind of had the skill set. I had the piano and the conducting experience, and I kind of fell into music directing very naturally. So it was kind of nice that it felt like it was meant to be, and not something I necessarily decided to do.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool for you to have gone to school for musical theater performance and then getting to go into music directing and seeing like that passion of yours from a completely different perspective and getting to like wear all these different hats of, putting a production on stage. So I think that's really cool that you got to live that.
Yeah, it definitely like offers a different perspective from people who come from strictly a music background. So yeah, I've really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, and it's also great for actors as well. I mean, speaking because we're both actors, when you work with an actor as a music director, you know what they're going through. So I think that also is like really comfortable for you too to kind of be like, I've been in their position before.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and when did you first fall in love with music, and what really inspired you to become a music director?
Yeah, so I came from a musical family. My mom was a music teacher, and me and all of my siblings are multi-instrumentalists and singers. So music, it was another thing that was just like naturally a part of my life. So my relationship with music feels very familial. It's like always going to be there. I trust that I will have music in my life forever. Um, but yeah, music directing, like I said, it kind of fell into my lap naturally because I had the skills before I ever really got into performing seriously. But once I had my first opportunity to do it, it felt so right and so natural. And I fell in love with it. The first show that I co-music directed was Little Women, which is already such a special show. And the process, I was doing a show with all of my friends right after graduation, and actually one of our cast members, Kevin, was in that production as well.
Yes.
And it was so fun and it felt so right. And from there, that just kept growing, and I kept finding other shows to do, and I haven't stopped since.
That's so fun and full circle that Kevin was in your first one and now he's in your most recent one.
Yeah.
And I mean, music directing is just like the most incredible thing. And like, I feel like with musical theater, it's so beloved and so special, obviously, because the music pulls the story forward. And I think getting to work with everyone to bring that music to life, because it's truly the most essential part of musical theater. So I think it's so cool that you've kind of gotten to have both perspectives of that. That's like so amazing. Oh. So, what about Olivia O made you say, I want to be part of this? Why did you feel the need to tell this important story?
Well, I'm definitely big on political themes in theater. I like to keep up to date with everything going on in the world, and obviously, there's a lot going on in the US right now, as far as immigration, and there surprisingly haven't been a lot of shows about that coming out. But this one has those themes, and it's very topical, very timely. And I also love that it's centered around women and their experience with it. Um, so everything about that side of it felt very interesting to me, and very much like something that should be like a story that should be told right now, that I'm not feeling like is necessarily getting a ton of attention, especially like particularly in like mainstream like commercial musical theater. That's not that's not getting a lot right now. So even though this is a smaller independent fringe production, I think it's a great place to start.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And I always bring it back to the final song in the show being entitled Weave the World. And like you said, like there's not much theater that talks about these issues or this subject matter. So it's our job to essentially weave the world and tell these stories and use our show and the music to get it out there as like a wake-up call for people to say like this is the world that we're living in right now and it's horrible and we need to weave it and it's our job to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what are you most looking forward to about being the music director for Olivia O?
I'm really looking forward to getting to play the show every night, honestly. It's, I've done, more recently, I've done shows where I'm vocal directing and I
Mhm.
didn't get to be there every single night with the cast, or I'll be conducting instead of playing piano for it. And it's just a very different experience. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of really strong teamwork happening throughout the process that we'll get to culminate on stage together, and I'm really excited for that to have share those moments with the cast. And I'm also excited to get into the material again with like the subject matter, but also like the style of the music. I haven't done many shows that you have Latin inspired music, so I'm really excited to play that too.
Oh, and the music is just so good.
Hmm.
It gets stuck in your head and it's just it's always lingering there. And like I love how the music is it's so gorgeous and it's also certain songs in the show are like protest songs. And I think it's so special, especially like you said now with it being so timely that the music truly has a different meaning because it mirrors what's going on in our world. And I think it's really gonna stick with the audiences.
Hmm, exactly.
Yeah. So, as the music director, how do you approach helping the cast bring the music and the emotions of the story to life?
So it's a lot of conversations, and especially because I've done actor training and I have that perspective on, intentions and beats and all of those things. It's a lot of back and forth with finding what the actor's choices are for those moments and seeing how that can fit into the music, or also the opposite, like seeing what the music is dictating about what kind of intentions they should be bringing to those moments. And dynamics are like one of the biggest tools for emotional like storytelling. So finding ways to line all of that up with the emotional journey of these characters in those moments. But yeah, lots of open communication. It'll evolve as we go. And I'm also very excited to work with our director, Jenica, and I'm sure that she'll have lots of input on those moments as well. And we will just work together and find that journey.
Yeah, dream team. I can't wait. Oh. So, what stands out to you most about the music in Olivia O? And do you have a favorite song from the show?
Yeah, I like I said, I love the Latin inspired music. Obviously, it's very fitting
Mhm.
for the story and the context. Um, I really love Mama, I'm Sorry. I think it is so heartbreaking to see this young person feel so much guilt about this situation that she's been kind of forced into. And I really love the shape of the emotions through that one.
Yeah, the songs, they make you sob, but they are also those songs that stay in your head and linger there, and they're so thought-provoking. And the way the music just connects to the story and how you can hear the story happening even if the lyrics weren't there. It's so special to just hear that and just kind of let the songs speak for themselves and tell this story and just take you on this journey. I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, 100%.
So, what excites you most about performing at the Toronto Fringe Festival? Because this is your first Fringe.
Yeah, well, that's just it. I haven't gotten to
Yep.
be in a Fringe show before. I've seen them plenty and got to support my friends. But this is my first time, and I've witnessed the like culture and camaraderie and the coming together of the Toronto theater scene during Fringe weeks, and I'm really excited to be a little more involved in it.
Yeah, I can't wait to be a part of that as well. And I think that's, like you were saying, the most special thing about theater is like that sense of community always, but also like during Fringe Week when everyone's at the Fringe tent and like all the theaters are in such close proximity to one another and like all the shows being on different schedules, so getting to support and see the other shows, I just think it's really special. And especially in our show being so community oriented and a show about community, getting to build that with our cast, but also with the other shows in the Fringe, I just think is going to be an amazing experience for all of us.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, and when you think about audiences seeing Olivia O, what are you most excited for them to experience?
Definitely some of our strong ensemble moments. Speaking about community and coming together, I think that's like the biggest theme of the show for me.
Yeah,
So getting to hear like the power of the ensemble, and feel that sense of solidarity all together.
yeah,
I think that's a big one.
definitely. And what does being part of this show mean to you personally as a performer?
Yeah, I think like I said, I really, really love political theater. And I like being not just a supporter of it, but being able to be part of it and part of giving this show a voice here in Toronto. Um, so yeah, bringing the themes onto a stage and starting conversations about it and being part of that process is really exciting to me.
I always say that political theater is the best kind of theater because it's the theater that makes you reflect, that stays with you the longest. And I feel like my kind of like tagline of like theater that I want to be a part of is some shows you see and some shows you feel. And
Hmm.
I think the shows that make you feel and that stay with you long after the curtain closes and they kind of just linger in your heart and in your brain, I think that is a job well done for anyone in a show or producing a show. And I think that that is something that our show does so beautifully. And I'm so excited to see how that's going to be perceived by audiences in Toronto. And I'm so excited for everyone to hear the music.
Me too.
It's going to be such an amazing experience. And what's something that you hope the audiences will take away from this story, whether it's a moment, a song, maybe something special in the music that stands out to you, or just like a life lesson that you hope they'll take with them as they leave the theater?
Yeah, I think going along with the same points, honestly, I hope that they start to think about ways that you can support each other in community in hard times and just remember that change doesn't happen individually all the time. You have to be ready to support and work together. And I hope that that inspires them to go out and find some moments that they can do that and put that into action.
Yep, I love that. That was so beautifully said. And how has being a part of Olivia O and the music of Olivia O inspired you as a music director?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it makes me want to work with Latin styles more. Like the music is just so catchy and fun and danceable. Um, and I'm really, really excited to put it on its feet. And again, get to like actually be there every night and participate in it instead of just like
Yeah.
watching it or running tracks or whatever. But yeah, I'm excited to like work on the music on an individual basis as well and like
Yeah.
work on my piano parts and everything because I think it's just really fun to practice,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, and it's going to be so fun to be able to hear you play that every night. And I think there's something about this is a realization that I've had recently with music that you and I can geek out about more too later is just the beauty of just having a piano. It's gorgeous because I feel like when you see theater, you often think about like the 32-piece orchestra and like, oh my God, the 32-piece orchestra chills. Like there's nothing like a full orchestra, but the way that the music sounds when it's just a piano, it's so intimate and so gorgeous. And I think people sometimes forget of just the sounds of a piano solely by itself. It changes theater. It changes everything. And it's
Mhm.
so beautiful. And I'm so excited to hear you play that score every night. Oh. So to close us out, if you could sum up the show in one word, what word would it be and why?
I think solidarity would be my word. I think that's the biggest theme for me. Um, is all about sticking together and supporting each other. And again, like big changes, like systemic changes, they cannot ever happen on your own. So yeah, those ensemble moments, those big community moments, that's the biggest theme for me.
Yeah. I can't wait for the community that's going to form both on stage and off. I know it's going to be so incredible. Oh, thank you so much, Deanna, for being here and for the passion and care that you bring to Olivia O. And thank you to everyone for tuning into Behind Olivia O. We can't wait for you to experience the show, and we'll see you at the 2026 Toronto Fringe Festival. Bye, everyone.